Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Thrills Custom T-shirts and accessories, and is also sponsored by the Ice Shaker, the only bottle you will ever need. Go buy your custom Timeout Talks apparel via www.chaseandthrills.com, and you guys can purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com. As you guys know, we've been doing this for about a month now. We're streaming live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. We are going to kick off the show remembering a Celtics legend who unfortunately passed away on Sunday, Bill Russell, who is an all-time GOAT. I mean, just the absolute epitome of a sports icon, one of the most influential basketball players and sports figures ever, in my opinion. 11-time NBA champion, Hall of Famer we're talking here, 12-time All-Star, 5-time MVP winner, I believe 2-time NCAA champion. So, just absolute, I know the term GOAT is thrown around, so much, but, he is a GOAT in sports. That's one of the only words I can think of. Hall of Famer, pioneer. So very, very sad to hear that news, and definitely it stinks that we got to start the show off on a little bit of a damper note, but definitely want to remember him as just, obviously we didn't grow up watching him, but just the everlasting effect that he had on sports, not even just basketball. And even Boston itself was everlasting, as I mentioned. So just wanted to quickly start off the show remembering Bill Russell.
Yeah, Josh, just double checking that too. Spot on with that. Two-time NCAA champion. Correct with that one. 1955 and 56. San Francisco Dons back in the day. So shout out to him for that one. I mean, yeah, he's just, you were talking about Boston Celtic legend, sort of just Boston in general, sport legend over there, and just sort of general icon to the game, the winningest player, like you've mentioned, in all four of the major sports, in all of the sports, so just throw them all in there. Just pretty tough to see. You're going to remember, that day when you heard the news and everything, sort of like the, I'll put it up with the Kobe news. And Kobe is a little more shocking just because of the events and everything. But I mean, it was just a gut punch here, and Bill Russell just died. I mean, it's just a legend to all of us. And like Josh said, we didn't grow up with him, but we heard stories from him and everything he's done. Obviously, the 11 champions, just dominating that era, and going back and forth with Wilt and dominating that series. But they had some great battles over there. But him and Red Auerbach just putting it together for those Boston Celtics, just a true icon in Boston and just in American sports in general. Sad to see this, but hopefully we're going to honor him. I don't believe a statue's out there yet. Hopefully we'll get that started for him. I don't understand why. I know he sort of has documented too his turbulent sort of upbringing, through Boston and everything. And I mean, I know people, I know athletes go through a bunch now, and there's a bunch of stuff that they have to go through that none of us will have to see. I feel bad for them in that aspect, but no, none of them ever are going to be able to go through what Bill Russell had to go through. I mean, some of those stories that you hear even from the Boston Celtics fans, we got to hold ourselves accountable for some of that stuff back in the day. I mean, it was his own fans coming after him and sending him vulgar messages and everything, and he still put up with it and still brought championships to the city. And this shows you what kind of person he was, one of the best people out there. And you see all these people, get to finals stuff, get to finals trophies and everything. Everyone's booing the NHL commissioner and everything. And for the other sports, I'm trying to just think on top of my head. No one's pretty excited to see anybody, the commissioners and the higher ups. But whenever anybody gets that NBA Finals MVP from Bill Russell, everyone's always smiling. Everybody always loved getting that moment from him. LeBron talked about it. Kobe talked about it. So it's gonna be sad not seeing him pass off that trophy, but just an honor to see that legacy from Bill Russell. So R.I.P. to Bill.
Definitely, Ben. Very well said. Nick DeVosta coming in here with a couple comments from Facebook saying Bill Russell's record in winter go-home games all time was 21-0. Unbelievable. I 100% believe that. That's astronomical right there. That's a crazy number. And Nick saying he already has a statue. Is there one near TD Garden or I know
I
the
thought
Bobby
there,
Orr. Maybe there. I didn't really ring a bell to me when you
yeah,
first said it, but now I could
maybe there
believe
is.
it. I mean, there
I
definitely
thought I
should
heard
be.
them complain about it, Josh. Sorry, but I thought I heard them still sort of saying something about that. And I'll double check. It's nice having people double check me out there. You gotta double check me when I go on my
Keeping him on his toes.
rants. Yeah, keep it on my toes and modest. But I could have sworn I heard that a couple days ago. I'll double check it, but uh yeah, man, it's just still sad to see. I'm just looking at some more. He's 12-time NBA All-Star. He was just, especially on the defensive end,
Unbelievable.
NBL first team in 1969. He was just one of the best out there. Rebounding champion so much. He's just got so many stats and just one of the winningest players out there. So just sad to see Josh.
100%. We're talking about like even just stats wise, average like 22 points a game, 20. I mean, not 22 rebounds a game. Excuse me. That's like unbelievable. I know people always want to talk about times were different back then. It's still amazing to see one, and I think you know it's not even like I think it's a fact. He's factored in with all those other great legends who helped pave the way for basketball now and other sports as well. Jackie Robinson comes to mind. Some other players as well within the NFL that I'm just shorting on. But, overall, just a very inspirational guy, influential guy. And as you mentioned, Ben, he had ties within the NBA. It really was, sad because yeah, he was extremely old and, his life was coming to an end. But you think about how in touch with the NBA community he's always been. Like you said, Ben, winning that award is, very influential to a lot of the players. And you think of every single finals run the Celtics make. He put, what was it? It was on Twitter like maybe the beginning of June. It was like him in his Celtics gear, like taking a picture. Then there was something like I seen. This is like totally unrelated to the Celtics, but it was like him on a boat, like, and it was like a funny caption. This was like the end of June, I think. So like, it kind of definitely was out of nowhere, and just one of those things where it's gonna, whether you grew up with him or not, always gonna have an everlasting effect on the game of basketball, and I think sports. I think Boston history as well. So hey, heck, give him 2 statues. He deserves it.
I
And
agree too.
just an all-time great that will definitely be missed. So my condolences go out to the family, and the basketball world is mourning. So um, yeah, it's a tough one for the NBA community who has taken a lot of hits within the past 5 years. So definitely will be remembered. And I tried to kind of, come on the show and remember some of the positive things as well. I think one of the coolest things was 2-time NCAA champion. I mean, that's awesome. And I know people always want to kind of knock on like the NBA back then, but like I feel like college sports has always been very competitive. Since dating way, way, way back. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. So just to hear that was I think that one kind of reached my. I mean, obviously, the 11-time champion and all stars get thrown out a lot. So, I knew. First of all, actually, I don't want to gloss over the fact that he's an 11-time champion because that is unbelievable. But, that's the one you hear the most. But the
Yeah.
2-time NCAA champion, I don't know why it's like impressive to me. It really is for some reason. Because you don't really see like dynasties or like back to backs in college sports, like even dating way, way back. So, definitely interesting, definitely a pioneer, and as I've mentioned multiple times, his legacy will always be remembered in Boston and in sports in general.
Okay. Just one, Josh, at every level. You don't really see that, like you've been mentioning. You don't really see that too much now. It's just too hard. I mean, there's just so many teams back then. You're not knocking Bill for that, but I mean, you still got to get it done. Like you're talking about, I mean, different players back then, less teams, but I mean, 11 times is 11 times. Regardless of how many teams in there. It's doing that. Winning something 11 times is hard enough, regardless. Anything you do. So, I mean, that's just you know, you can't knock him for that. Just gotta give him credit. No other way around it. I know, so you're gonna have the hot take people. They just gotta talk about something in the summer, like we were discussing last week. Now you get those hot take crews out there on first take. You got a JJ Redick. You gotta make a take like that, but everybody knows and everybody has given Bill the respect he's deserved and earned. Quite frankly, he's probably earned it the most in the NBA. Like Josh has mentioned, paved the way to the NBA that we're seeing now. So you're going to remember where you were when you heard the news, but hopefully we're just going to remember everything else he did for us and what he brought for the NBA now. So RIP, and like what Josh said earlier, condolences to the Russell family.
Very well said, Ben. Figured got to start the show off, admiring and remembering an absolute legend, and I really stress this in all of sports history, not even just the NBA. So definitely had to kick off the show with that. With that being said, we've got a very, 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 very baseball-packed show. We got the MLB trade deadline special here. We've been just highlighting and previewing and shadowing this day for a while. Of course, last night after we get off the podcast, a couple big trades happened. That's fine because we're going to get to those today. We're going to get to the huge Juan Soto deal. We've got the 3 stars over there in San Diego. They also got another star we're going to talk about very shortly. We're going to get you quick NFL training camp, just updates, thoughts. I've got an interesting trade that Ben might want to hear. I know I floated it out on the show before. I think Dallas should probably pick up the phone soon, but I also have another quote from Jerry Jones regarding the wide receiver depth and their plans moving forward, so we'll get to that a little bit later in the show. But like I said, Ben, a lot of stuff. I was so excited to hear that the MLB trade deadline was actually going to end today at 6 p.m. A bunch of stuff came filtering through, literally massive blockbuster. It all happened today, as I literally was so happy it happened, and I kind of predicted it would happen. So we got blockbuster moves, and let's get right to them. And let's start with this one right here. Juan Soto. I figured we got to get to this. We'll get you to your Red Sox stuff, who didn't stand pat, which there's a lot
Decent
of...
Josh.
We've got some controversial stuff to talk about when it comes to the Red Sox. We'll get to some of your takes as well. But here we go. Juan Soto and Josh Bell, they were able to kind of get the double whammy there, and they gave up a haul, Ben. I wasn't able to kind of quite get it on the screen there for you guys, but
it's too much, Josh. Too much to put on the screen.
It was a lot, Ben, and I said this last week. I said, I think the Padres have a lot of stuff that they could move. They also made a couple other moves. They got Josh Hader, which we'll get to in a little bit. They gave up some players for that as well. But the Nationals got an absolute boatload of prospects, and that is the left-handed pitcher in Mackenzie Gore. They got the right-handed pitcher in Jarlin Susanna. I'm not too familiar with him. But this guy right here has been an MLB The Show prospect. If you play Diamond Dynasty, you know this guy. That is the shortstop C.J. Abrams, outfielder James Wood, and the highly touted Robert Hassel III, outfielder, was all sent to the Nationals. That whole package there for Juan Soto and Josh Bell. So the Padres shipped out first baseman, which we'll get to. Nice near and dear guy, close to the Red Sox there, because that's exactly where he went. We'll get to that in a minute. But Ben, wow, this came in today. We're going to get to winners and losers of the trade deadline after we go through some of the trades, and some of the trades we'll gloss over. Some of them we'll talk a little bit about. Gotta start it off with this one, because this one is the home run hit, the blockbuster move, the wow. What's your thoughts on this trade, Ben? Just shoot it out.
Hey, I mean, like you said, Josh, it was either Padres or I think I threw out the Cardinals too last week. You threw them out too, but I think I was going to go with the Cardinals as well. They had a nice little farm system to throw at them. But I'm not too shocked about this one, Josh. It was going to be either the two. I was thinking maybe Dodgers, a sneaky team in there. Yankees, another sneaky team watching out for. I actually honestly thought I'm completely blank. And now all this sort of news took me by, took me by something today. Forgot the word right there, but I thought he was going to go to the Yankees. I thought since the Yankees pulled all those guys, I was expecting the Yankees to do something big. They did not, so I was wrong with that one. Egg on my face. I could have sworn he was going to be a Yankee, but it's looking like he's going to be a Padre for a pretty considerable amount of time now. I thought it was a good trade all around. Nationals got what they wanted. You mentioned all those prospects too. CJ Abrams is a big time guy. Apparently, Mackenzie Gore, solid pitcher over there. He's had some nice work this year. Nice little youth pitcher for the Nats to sort of grow around their bullpen. Starting pitching rotation, I should say. Strasburg's kind of done over there, so they got to start from scratch. He did not have a good outing this year, so I think they just want to start fresh with a couple of young guys over there. But I think everybody worked out well with this trade. Like you mentioned too, Josh Hosmer kind of nixed this one. We'll get to that in a little later, but I'm pretty happy with that one. Pretty ecstatic actually. So I don't have to see Frenchie Cordero at first base anymore because that is not good. I'm all right with Bobby D, but Frenchie no more at first base. I don't want to get too sidetracked with that one. But all around, this is a great trade for both teams. I mean, Padres, all you gotta say is Tatis, Machado, and Soto. So, they won their side of the trade. Nationals, Soto wasn't gonna sign. Clearly, you need to get something for him. You don't want to just let him walk. You get a nice little haul for him, not even a huge haul for him. Luke Voigt too, nice little player in him. And they swung him in that deal too. I like him for a little first base. I don't know who's gonna play first base for the Padres now. It's a little I want to go double check that one since they got rid of Hosmer and Luke Boyd. I want to see that one, but it's not really going to matter when you get those three superstars out there. So just great trade all around. Historic day. It was a nice little start for this historic day, Josh, but it just kept getting a little crazier after that Soto trade. So I was pretty excited to see that for baseball.
And Josh Bell is going to be the first baseman for them.
Oh yeah, that was another part too, Josh. It's a solid player, out here. I get to watch the Nationals. When I put on my Nesson out here, that's sort of one of the games I get to watch out here. I get the Orioles and Nationals for local baseball, and he's a solid little player for them. So I totally forgot that part in the deal for the Padres too. That's another huge part for them. He was probably their second best hitter besides Soto out there. Josh Bell was raking it for them. He's pretty good. So Padres, that's just going to boost their grade up a little more. Josh too. I'm going to give him. I'll give him an A for that trade. Is that A minus? They're giving up a lot of money too. I mean, they're paying a bunch. They're going to have to be in that luxury tax again for the second consecutive season. They're going to have to pay that, but I think they're just going to suck it up and pay it just to have all these guys, which is honestly worth it.
Hey, and like you said, it is worth it. And hey, the owner's going to be the one who really has to deal with that. And I know you mentioned the batting average. Josh Bell, another upgrade. Eric Hosmer, I've been following him closely. I have him on my fantasy team. He started off batting well over 300. He was like one of the best batting average or just efficient hitters to start off the season. It was like 2 or 3 months into the season. He was killing it. He's kind of cooled down a little bit, but a good player as well. We'll get to him a little bit. But Josh Bell, listen to this. I mean, we all know Juan Soto. We all know the deal with him. He is an absolute beast. I also have him on my fantasy team. It just so happens to work out that way. But Ben, talking about Josh Bell, listen to these stats. If you're a Padres fan, you're feeling nice and assured. Josh Bell, just above 300 with a .301 batting average. He's got 113 hits, 14 homers, 57 RBIs, and 52 runs scored this season. So offensively, he's been a problem. He's going to fit in like a glove there. That team is all in, Ben. They made another little trade there. They went out and got Josh Hader. I mean, just wow. I mean, we're talking arguably the best closer in the MLB. I love Clay Holmes. He's still a little young. He's on the rise, so I would kind of put him as like a promising closer, someone who's going to be up there. But you think Josh Hader, you think Edwin Diaz, David Robertson's having a good year. He also got moved. Hader's top of the crop. Cream of the crop. That's the better saying there. So they're just finessing everything. As Chris said, he said the Padres have been finessing. We've got Cam also coming in here with Ohtani to the Yankees would have been nuts. That 100% would have been nuts. That would have been like, whoa. But I love what the Padres are doing. Again, we're going to get to later who we think has kind of won the trade deadline. But I love what they're doing. You know, they improved. They got their pitching help. They needed a closer out there. You know, they've still got some good pitchers out there. Darvish, Max Clevenger. Now they add, they got rid of Mackenzie Gore, which stinks, but now they've got literally big three there in Juan Soto, Manny Machado, and Fernando Tatis, who should be coming back soon. So, wow. Big blockbuster move of the day. However, here it is. This is the trade that we were talking about. Eric Hosmer. This is a position that I'm going to give the keys here to Ben and let him kind of rant about, because I know the Red Sox have needed a first baseman. They went out and got him, batting .274. I think the home runs are down. I think he's like between 8 and 10. I can look that up. But Red Sox got your first baseman, Ben. I'm going to quickly look up to see if they were able to name who they gave up for him. But overall, how are you guys feeling if you're a Red Sox fan about this trade?
I'm feeling pretty good, Josh. Like you mentioned, and I sort of alluded to a little frustratedly, the first base has been an issue for us. We're splitting time with Frenchie and Bobby D. It just wasn't good, to be honest. It's quite frankly, it was not good. I don't know how many times I saw Frenchie commit an error in a Tampa Bay series. I believe it was just, I don't know if it was, I believe it was before the All-Star break. Yeah, he was actually, no, I think it was right after the All-Star break. Coming back, he's supposed to be rested, but he did not look rested. I just don't know what was going on through his head a couple of those plays. I don't know if first base is his thing. Bobby D a little better, just still like give you a couple of those boneheaded moves and just sort of he's just not there. He's not what you want, a consistent guy. He can be, an every other day guy. He can back up, he can help give the other first baseman some time off. But he's just not your everyday guy. Hosmer is, he's not what he once was. He's a 4-time Gold Glover. Some of the stats don't really back that up, but I mean, he won the awards, so you got to give it to him. But he's much better than those two guys. So let's just say he's much better than what we had. Kind of upset with the Vasquez move, sending him out. I just like Vasquez. But got I believe Tommy Pham, I believe that's his first name in there. Solid little player over there. Sent Dykeman away to get that guy out of here. We could just ship out the whole bullpen and just start fresh with any of these guys. I care less with them. I believe we added some bullpen help. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we were active during the trade deadline, which I was happy bringing Hosmer after that Vasquez. I thought we were going to be sellers, so I'm glad to see us come back in here. As Nick DeVos mentioned, me only three games out of the wild card, so we're still very much in it. We got a bunch of AL East games coming up, crucial games too in the other AL. In the AL, I believe we have another Guardians series along the way, so it's just another one for the wild card. We're going to need to capitalize on those ones. Can't drop any more series, Josh. We can't be dropping these easy ones. Huge win last night. Was not expecting that at all. I was kind of throwing it in. We beat the Astros. I don't know how we did that. Listen, we'll try to help you guys out with that one. Hey, I mean, you guys are killing me. Aaron Judge is something. That guy. I know I'm a little off track, but I mean, that guy is just something else. He's killing it out there. Nobody's even really talking about it, maybe even breaking the home run record. He's on pace. He's very much on pace for it. But yeah, so I mean, Red Sox overall, I'm just glad they got someone at first base because I can't see Frenchie there anymore. And I'm seeing the graphic on the screen too. Sad to see Vasquez go, but hopefully the guys upstairs know what they're doing with that move.
And
doubt it.
Just to agree with that, they brought in another catcher. Some interesting things around him. Got in trouble for some stuff, so that's an interesting one. Nick DeVos coming in. He's sad to see him go. I think a lot of people were. There was a weird moment yesterday. He was getting ready to play, getting ready to go up against the Astros, and they pulled him. So I don't know. That was weird. That seemed like it was like a last second deal last night. He literally imagine that. Imagine getting traded to the team that you're playing. You think you're gonna suit up and play that night, or even if you're not, you're in your dugout. Nope, actually, you just got traded to the team that you're playing against that night. So you got to take all your stuff out of that dugout and go meet them in the middle of a game while you're playing your former team. Just weird trade.
Only in
last
baseball,
night.
Josh. Only in baseball.
Only baseball, Ben. They're ready to ship him out fast. But as you mentioned, on a contract year, we'll see. Cody, I was kind of picking his brain a little bit here. Very biased baseball fan, but he made a good point. We'll see. We'll see what Chaim Bloom does. Personally, I think he is an absolute moron. But got rid of him on a contract year. I personally would have re-signed Vasquez. I think it's really hard to find a well-balanced catcher. Usually you're a very good fielder and a good framer, but you're not really a good hitter. He was pretty good at both. He had a good arm, could throw some people out. Not the fastest guy in the world, but what catcher is fast? He was a great hitter, having a great year. I have him on my team. That's why I know. And he went to the Astros, so it's like as much as the Red Sox help us out, they don't with that trade. But those Red Sox trades, and Tommy Pham here. No, go ahead, Ben.
No. That was tough for us on our end. I was just apologizing for that one. We weren't trying to help out, and the Orioles too sending Trey Mancini to the Astros. That was a good move too. I just want to put that in there for the Astros.
Yep.
They're looking good, Josh.
I've got that. I've got the graphic on that. That was. We'll get to those Astros in a minute because that Vasquez, Trey Mancini, they made another little move there that I'll get to. It's just blanking on me, but I am surprised, Nick, to see that. I'm Charlie. Excuse me, out of Facebook here. That the Red Sox did not move on from JD Martinez. I think a lot of the big name reporters like Jeff Passan, John Heyman. They really felt that he was going to be moved. And I think we were kind of getting a sense of urgency and, a lot of people feeling that he was going to be dealt because he was on a contract year, another solid year out of contract year. But they stuck around with him. I still think they're trying to make that push. As Ben mentioned, they're 3 games out. So he stays. Bogart stays, as we knew. Evaldi stays. That was the other one that was potentially mentioned. And he had a great outing last night, a statement game on the road as well. Played pretty solid, so was able to kind of settle down after those 2 runs. But Marianne came in, was talking about the Yankees. Quickly went out, got Frankie Montas. Loved it. I wanted us to go out and get either him or Luis Castillo. Kind of back up Garrett Cole here. I liked the rotation, but after Garrett Cole, I think there's a massive drop-off. I know Frankie Montas' ERA is like a 4-something, and, he's okay this year, but strikeout guy, which I think I love if I'm a Yankees fan, and just a guy with a lot of upside. We got him on a decent contract, so I'll take that one. The ace stud there. I like it a lot. Another deal, as you know. Benintendi came. Another guy.
Tough one.
Solid. Fits that left porch situation perfectly. Left-handed hitter, can hit it out. I know his home runs are low, but his batting average is really high. Good speed. I think, honestly, I know the Yankees made another little trade here for Harrison Bader at the buzzer, but I think he is really going to be that Joey Gallo replacement, sticking him, Judge, and maybe they do Bader. I don't really like that move for Bader. They got rid of Jordan Montgomery, who's had a solid year, but I digress. I like the Benintendi one a lot. I think he could fit here pretty well. Another guy on a contract year. You gave up nothing. We got a couple guys. We didn't get rid of any of our core. We didn't get rid of Jason Dominguez. Didn't get rid of Peraza. Didn't get rid of Anthony Volpe. We also got Trevino, closer I like. We got the Efros guy from the Cubs. So I like what the Yankees did. Tip of the hat to Cashman. Like that one a lot. Speaking of Joey Gallo, just going to quickly breeze over this one as well, Ben. Got rid of him. Shipped him on out to the Dodgers.
There we go. I didn't know that one. All right.
Yeah, Joey Gallo is gone. So
sweet.
That shrinkens up that outfield a lot. I really didn't expect him to go out and get Bader. Do I have the graphic for it? Yeah, right here. The the Cardinals, which I like a lot. They got Jordan Montgomery. We got Harrison Bader. He's solid player. I just didn't really quite get it. You know, they still got like Stanton, still got Hicks. You still got Judge. You've still got now Benintendi, Bader. That's 5 guys right there who can potentially play the outfield. So a little bit of juggling going on there. But overall, I like it a lot. As I mentioned, Ben, got rid of Gallo. Like it. The Yankees were active. They're all in. So I like some of those moves, Ben. I like a lot of what the Yankees have been doing.
Yeah, I mean, so much as I hate to say it, I do as well. I mean, listen, you gotta look at it from the outside. I'm not as a Red Sox fan, but I mean, I love that Benintendi move, like you mentioned. Not too many home runs, but he's been raking it for the Royals. He's been just killing it with the RBIs. He's just him and Bobby Witt over there every time I'm watching, checking out the Orioles or Royals game cast. He's always doing something for them whenever they're winning. Benintendi's been killing it for them. Good to see it from former Red Sox. I always like Benintendi, but like a typical Red Sox outfielder, he wants to go get paid, so he goes to the Yankees. We just don't pay him. And like I mentioned, like we're mentioning Vasquez, just want to mention. I mean, listen, if we're not going to sign these contract guys, I better see Heidlund pay a Devers and a Bogarts if we're not going to sign these other contract guys that are solid to the team. If we're just going to let all these guys walk, I don't know what we're doing. So he better be setting up for a big time payday for them. Back to the Yankees. Yeah, I mean, all these moves. I didn't know about that Bader move either. That's huge. That's a big move. I like that. It's actually a young guy from the Cardinals. They're just showing up that outfield, Josh. I liked it. I mean, I like those moves personally. I don't know who else you would prefer in Bader's position. In that outfield, maybe Aaron Hicks. But I mean, as long as you got Judge out there, I think you guys are fine. That guy's a monster. I love what I'm seeing from him, but I just I love those moves. Like you mentioned, you get some reliever help too with Everest from the Cubs. He's solid. Like you were mentioning, Frank, you'd spend either Castillo. I was hoping, if I was a Yankees fans, I'd be hoping for Castillo. I know we kind of had a huge game at Yankee Stadium against you guys, and he had a nice little performance that caught you guys' attention. If I was a Yankees fan, I was maybe hoping for that one. That ERA kind of scares me a little too much from Frankie Montez. Seen a couple games from him on the A's. Like you said, he's a high strikeout guy, but I mean, he does get dinged up a little, and sometimes he can ding guys up in Yankee Stadium. The stadium allows for that. But you had to go get somebody other than Garrett Cole, sort of back him up, try to just give that effort, to give that appeal, and you did. So give all the credit to the Yankees for that. And I think they had a good trade deadline. I'd be happy if I were you, Josh.
Definitely happy. I saw the Cam comment here saying that why didn't the Red Sox get rid of Chris Sale for a fresh bucket of balls? Tough one there. Trust me, I know. I got him in fantasy and I needed him. And I love how I just everything about baseball just reverts back to fantasy. I'm just kidding, but no, yeah. I like what the Yankees have done. This trade right here scares me. Trey Mancini going over there to Houston. Again, another upgrade. They got better at catcher. They got another outfielder who's really good. They made another move there. Yes, there it was. They got completely forgot. They got rid of Jake Odorizzi. I picked him up a little bit. I floated him around. Solid pitcher. Not going to make or break a game. Not a game breaker, but he can go out there, pitch well. And I think they assessed it, said maybe Jake Odorizzi isn't probably going to be a starter. They've got Lance McCullers Jr., who's been on the IL. He's slated to come back soon. So maybe they get him back. And then Will Smith, I think they looked at it and said, man, Jake Odorizzi is probably going to be in the bullpen. Well, Will Smith's a better pitcher. We'll ship out Jake, get in Will Smith from the Braves, who, again, they made a nice little solid move earlier. I forget what it was. But like that move there from Houston. We got to the Josh Hader trade there, Ben. Another team who made some solid moves. The Phillies. They went out and got Noah Syndergaard. Yep, the Phillies. They went out and got Noah Syndergaard. Then they went out and got David Robertson as well. I like that a lot. Shored up that pitching rotation for them. A team, Ben, that I saw them live last year. They've got the bats. They just don't have consistent pitching. That's been a struggle for them. I I think going out and getting Syndergaard, he wasn't having the best year for the Angels, so get him out of there. A team that's selling in the Angels. They got some prospects. The Phillies, again, getting a starter, adding a closer. I like that a lot. I think there's two teams within the trade deadline that I would say are the underrated teams that really went under the radar, made some very nice moves, and that is the Cardinals and Phillies. I'd put them like together, 1A, 1B. Both teams made a lot of stellar moves. Here's the David Robertson one. Tyler Mahle went to the Twins. Put that on the radar if you're a Red Sox fan. Twins are, I believe, the third first place team in the AL, so they would host one of those wild card teams. They wouldn't get the bye, so put that on the radar there. And so some couple good moves there. I'm gonna quickly try and look up that other move that the Phillies made. I mean that the Cardinals made, but some interesting stuff, Ben. Quickly too as well. I could not let this go unnoticed. Third baseman, Austin Riley. I've been hyping this dude up for probably about a year now. He got a 10-year contract worth $212 million. Thank God. They backed up the Brinks truck for their young third baseman there at the hot corner. I love it. I think that's a great move for them. I think this guy's also really underappreciated. MLB The Show not showing him much love. Not giving him an all-star card. Like, what the hell, dude? He's like probably one of the best sluggers. I actually seen a stat. It was he had, in the month of July, he was the best batting average, the best slugging average, had the most home runs, most hits, most RBIs, and then I think it was like something else for defensive rating. He was like number 2. So absolute stud there, very underrated. Barely made the All-Star game too, which... but yeah, I love it. He got his appreciation with that paycheck, so... a lot of interesting moves. There's still some more stuff we're going to talk about, but had to let that one, couldn't let that one go unnoticed. But yeah, Ben, I'm gonna hand it off to Ben here for a minute for some of these trades we talked about. Tyler Mahle, talked about the Astros shoring up some more. Luis Castillo to the Mariners, but there was another trade that the Cardinals made. I think it was a closer. Just gonna quickly look that one up.
Yeah, I believe I'm trying to think. I thought his name was Iglesias. Something, maybe it was from the Angels. I think the Angels are clearing house. I believe I saw it because I don't know why they wanted a closer from the Angels.
It was, so it was to the Braves, actually. That was that Braves, move that the Braves made. You're right, Ben, it was that one. Good call.
Yeah, I don't know why, Josh. They would want somebody from the Angels bullpen. To be honest, they're only worse.
Okay.
Hey, I gotta double check on that one, but hopefully he is. But just from what I've seen from the Angels, the bullpen's not too good. I kid. Obviously, he's probably pretty good for them making that deal. But just from what I've seen, the Angels, when it's time for the bullpen, much like the Red Sox, kind of goes awry sometimes for them. But nice move that's why I saw the Braves just shoring up that bullpen. I believe he's going to be a setup guy for Jansen. Jansen's been a little wily this year for the Braves, but hopefully this guy can sort of just smooth the sails for him, get him even better position, for the Braves there. So Braves obviously seeing the Phillies make all these moves, obviously have the Mets there. They're trying to shore up as much as they can for this race, and you're starting to see all these teams get ready for these division and wild card races. Another team, this one's a little strange, Josh, too. Blue Jays getting Whit Merrifield, but he's unvaccinated. I guess he is unvaccinated, so I'm a little unclear. I gotta read a little more into it if he's gonna even be able to play. I believe he actually was one of the players that missed the trip up to Toronto for the Royals. They had a huge list of players that were unable to go to Toronto for that series because of Toronto's rules still regarding COVID vaccinations. So I'm still a little confused on why they make that deal. Maybe they know something that we don't, but that would seem a little confusing to make that deal for Toronto. But we'll launch that one. But that one is obviously pretty good for Blue Jays. They send off two young guys that can help the Royals right away. But I mean, this guy's just going to solidify that dangerous Blue Jays lineup even more if he can play there. He can go infield or outfield. So good one for the Blue Jays right there. I don't like to see that because they've been surging after this All-Star break, and they're already up 1-0 on Tampa, and the Mariners taking it to the Yankees 3-0. Top of the second, though, so it's still early, Josh. Still early.
Glad to hear that one. Thank God. I also have Tyone, so like my just went. But quick little DeGrom update in a second. But yes, the Jeff Passan, I might be butchering his name. He was saying basically,
you got it right.
One has to believe he'll get that. He'll be getting vaccinated. Same with the Benintendi thing. I'm pretty sure Benintendi reached out to the Red Sox and was saying he was going to get. I mean, to the Yankees, excuse me, that he was going to get vaccinated. So, I mean, you gotta assume, Ben. You really do have to assume.
I was about to say, you gotta assume they did their due diligence. But I just want to throw that out there. But hey, Blue Jays, another just tough move for the Red Sox.
And the other trade here, I was just looking on my screen. Obviously, the Jordan Montgomery to the Cardinals. It was Jose Quintana. The Yankees were interested in him. He went to the Cardinals. I like that one. Cardinals are trying to make a push. I like it. They've got a pretty young team there. Got a good core. My guy Nolan Arenado, one of my favorite baseball players in the whole league, is over there. So I like it. So interesting move there. And looking down here, DeGrom, 2 innings pitched. He's got 4 Ks and only allowed 1 hit. So I like it. He's literally struck out an entire side, essentially, and +1. So I love it. Right back to where we started, and he's playing against the Nationals. So I know that it was Juan Soto last week had said he was excited to go up against him. He's not going to be going up against him. So I just want to throw that one out there. But Jacob deGrom watch. He's doing good, and guess who I'm playing this week? Our near and dear friend, James Burke. So I'm up right now, 55-25. Nothing crazy. Rob's not here, so I'm not going to sit here and let him gloat. But he beat me last week. I had won 5 of my last 6. He got me. But DeGrom watch. If you got DeGrom, you're interested. I'm going to tune into his game after the show. He's got 2 innings pitched, 4 Ks already. So I'll say it again, and some people don't like when I say it. He's the healthiest. When he's the healthiest pitcher in baseball, he is the best pitcher in baseball. And James didn't like when I said that. I stand with that. So quick little DeGrom watch there. But overall, Ben, I thought this trade deadline lived up to the expectations. I think your overall winners, I mean, it's got to be the Padres. They went out and shored up literally 3 massive positions. They upgraded at first base. They upgraded in the outfield. And let's just say they upgraded for superstar-wise and future. They've got Juan Soto, and as you mentioned, that's probably a lock. And they went out and got probably the best closer in baseball. So they're killing it. They gave up a lot of their future, but who cares? They're in win now sort of mode anyways. They've got a bunch of young players that they're building around. I'd say they were the winners of the trade deadline. Astros not too far behind. And some of the sleepers, the Cardinals, Phillies, I liked a lot of those moves. Yankees made some solid moves as we'd expect. But trying to be a little unbiased there. I'd say the Padres definitely winners of the draft, and Cardinals and Phillies, some underrated teams that made some good moves.
Yeah, no, obviously, like you said, it's going to be it's probably Padres, biggest winner right there. You can't really, you just got to keep saying it again, like I mentioned, Soto, Tatis, and Machado. I mean, that's just deadly right there. But you mentioned them too. I mean, the Phillies, I should say, sorry about that. Phillies, probably shoring up that pitch, and David Robertson was a big guy you were always loving, Josh. I mean, he's been solid for a while. Yeah, so, yeah. He's just been the guy over there. He gets more pitching help. That's all they need. They've got the hitting. Bryce Harper's finally coming back. I believe he's coming back from rehab pretty soon. He's coming back. He's going to be playing pretty soon. And, you see what that happens when that lineup's with them. Bryce Hopkins is over there as well. So I'm excited what the Phillies did over there. So I put the Phillies as another little winner right there. And I'll go Yankees as my 3rd winner. Benintendi, I love that Benintendi move, that Bader, I should say. But I mean, you go back to the Padres, get Josh Hader too. I keep forgetting about that move. It's just tough, Josh.
Such a good move there for the Padres. I like that one a lot. So interesting stuff. No more trades to come out of the MLB, but we're going to keep an eye on MLB as we always do. Football season right around the corner. I think within the next couple of weeks, we're going to get you guys our schedule predictions for our favorite teams because that's coming up. We'll get you some fantasy football stuff as we did last year. Maybe the top 10 for each position. All that stuff's coming right around the corner, so we're going to get there for that. But baseball, like it. Yeah, Padres, the overall winner in my eyes. I think you can't go wrong. They were able to land Juan Soto. It finally happened. So see what they can do. They've struggled there. The Dodgers have really had their number. That's still that star-studded team in the Dodgers. They made a couple moves as well. So a lot more baseball left to be played, Ben. This is really the home stretch, I'd say. Once mid-August gets here, because it's just August, September, and then a little bit into October. So very excited to see what plays out there. I hold a sigh because a couple little injuries today. Two to the Denver Broncos. It was Tim Patrick, torn ACL, and then it was the running back, Ben. I forget what his name is. Let me quickly, literally on the fly, find out what his name is.
We got James Washington. I don't know if we mentioned this on the show too, but we'll just mention this one. James Washington fractured his foot, so rough start for the Cowboys. As Josh is finding that info, it's just I didn't want to be a Cowboy hater, but I hate to see an ex-Steeler get hurt too. I'm always rooting for those ex-Steelers. But just a tough start for the Cowboys.
It really is. The other player was just had it right here. Running back Demaria Crockett went down with an apparent knee injury, so both are having MRIs. The fear is both of them were serious, and I think the running back also did tear his ACL. Tim Patrick, that one stinks, especially for Russell Wilson, who's just getting over there. However, I had a quote regarding here we go. Yep, this is what it was, and this is just the cherry on top for me, Ben, in terms of James Washington. Michael Gallup. First of all, they traded Amari Cooper, gone. See you later. Lost Cedric Wilson. So two, I would say literally they're. Well, no, I'm forgetting Gallup. Actually, yeah, and then Gallup tore his ACL. So there's three guys that they're just not going to have to start the season. Their second string wide receiver before James Washington, with James Washington going down, is Jalen Tolbert, their rookie, who I'm hearing a lot of good things about, but still, I don't think he's gonna move the needle that much, especially losing Amari Cooper. And this quote probably pisses me off more than the injury itself to James Washington, because I felt that the Cowboys needed to go out and do something. I even said go out and get Cole Beasley last week before. This is from John Macchiota here, Cowboys reporter. Jerry Jones says there's no urgency to add a wide receiver to the roster after the James Washington foot injury. They want to give the extra opportunities to the players on the roster. So, Simi Faco and TJ Vasher are some of the other wide receivers to look at with our core. I don't know. I know a lot of people are saying Vasher looks pretty good. Undrafted 6'6" guy. He made a couple good plays. One over Anthony Brown, one over Trevon Diggs. But I beg to differ. Nick DeVasta, Cowboys should look to Odell Beckham Jr. That'd be interesting. Probably another guy who might not start this season, but still a star-studded guy. Did his thing in the Super Bowl. I think he'd fit in with Dak. I hated on him for a while. It'd be a very interesting one. But one guy who was given some rumblings and feels a little unwanted in Miami, Preston Williams, coming out last night saying, I just want an opportunity, #shaking my head. I would love for Dallas to go out and get him. I know the Dolphins were high up on him. Doubt that they'll do it, but trade a nice 4th or a 3rd round pick for him. I'd be down to do that. I don't think Dallas wants to. They believe in their depth, whatever the hell that means. But Another interesting one here, Ben. Cody mentioned it. I've heard it from Mike Fisher. He wrote a little report about it, said the Cowboys should think about doing it. What if we sent, I don't know if it's a first or if it's a second to the Steelers for Deontay Johnson, who is on a contract year, Ben?
He wants all the Steelers now.
I mean, I would do it. I would do it for the first round pick.
First round pick. I mean,
Ben doesn't want it.
It's a little tough right now. I got to think about that one. I mean, Deontay, it depends how bad these contract talks get, Josh. You know, he's already now reporting the training camp. I'd entertain it. It's definitely got to be a first round pick. We're not talking second. Next year's draft, obviously. I would entertain it, Josh. I'm not ready to give. I'm not ready to give a yes or no. Yeah, I mean, listen, you got George Pickens have been having solid camp so far. I mean, we got Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Pickens is another wide receiver, Calvin Austin. I haven't seen too much from him, but we drafted him. You know what happens when we draft guys? We turn them out. It's something the Steelers, that's one of the only things we do. We got those wide receivers. We can just turn them out everywhere. I don't know what we do, but they're always great. George Pickens and Austin looking on par so far. I don't want to jinx them, but we'll see what happens with that Big Ben just beating it to them. But throw Najee in there too. Get us nice little decent weapons for Mitch Trubisky or Kenny Pickett, whoever we choose to go with. So I think we're going to have to maximize the amount of weapons we give to the quarterback because the quarterback position taking a little decline. But I would definitely entertain that one, Josh. It's not a bad trade at all. Helps both of us out. We get a first round pick to build off of. You got to get Deontay. It's putting me on the spot, but ultimately, if I had to give an answer now, I'd say no, but I'd definitely be entertaining.
I think it's a move that, like I said, both could benefit from. I think the Steelers lock him up. They keep him. It's just a little bit of fantasy land. I thought it was interesting. It was one of the Cowboys, reporters, and I think he's not, a top reporter, came out, said it. And another thing, too, that I was literally just thought about on the show, Dallas is a team that likes to make moves by the deadline, too. I think you ride it out. Michael Gallup will 100% should be back by the deadline. He's been practicing. I think they placed him on the PUP list. He's not going to start the season, I don't think. So you'll probably be high octane running team to start for a little bit, defense, lean on defense a little bit, but I think that they make a move by the deadline, especially if things get a little, tight and the pressure's on us. I think that they make a move. They got to do something, Ben. Trying to think of some other options. I mean, I don't know, maybe another, go big or go home, but then again, you want to have some cap space. I believe that they were trying to figure out a way to kind of sign. They've got Parsons, they've got Pollard coming up, they've got Diggs coming up within the next 2 to 3 years. So a lot on their plate in terms of cap. I think that's why you've seen the Amari Cooper deal. They've got CeeDee Lamb, as well. He's got 2 more years left, so this year and another one. So that's coming up. You 100% know that they're going to pay him. Especially because they got rid of Cooper. So I think that they end up making a deal at the deadline, but I think you're kicking and screaming if you're a Cowboys fan going into week 1 on the road, I'm pretty sure. Or actually, no, it is at home. Sunday Night Football against the Bucs. In your number 2 wide receiver, I believe right now would be Jalen Tolbert. So you never know. But definitely nervous, Ben. Not even if I'm a Cowboys fan, I am a Cowboys fan. Definitely nervous if they don't make a move by then. I think you expect to maybe see one by the deadline, but can't really think of any other training camp news besides that, of course. But Steelers, they signed Chris Boswell. I like that one. Showed up their kicker. Yeah. Solid kicker. I know Dallas Greg Zuerlein missed a lot for us last year, so I can relate. I can see why kicking is really important. Boswell's hit some nails shots. So
Dolphins lost their 2023 first-round pick.
That is true.
It's pretty much I think that's the only other NFL news. guess it was for fines for tampering, and they got fined 1.5 million. Stephen Ross, so the owner, got a separate fine as well. That 1.5 is just for the team, but tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton, I believe, was Sean Payton's agent too. Looking at, I can't see the details right now, but it was just incidents from 2019, 2020, just tampering between all those guys, and they actually found no evidence. They found Dolphins not guilty. If you remember this one of not throwing games intentionally back when Brian Flores called them out for it. So the NFL found no evidence of that, but found evidence of the tampering. So they got him pretty heavy with that fine, and slow news week for NFL. That's why we hit that baseball pretty hard today, Josh, too. But NFL always finds a way to just throw a news story in there.
Definitely, they found a way, and I think Stephen Ross too. I don't know if you mentioned it. I don't think he can go. He's suspended till October 17th or something like that. That's what Ian Rappaport had put out. So
something like that. Those guys. He's. I'm surprised he's still owning it, Josh. But who knows what's going on with them?
Literally, that team. Yeah, that I completely forgot about the Brian Flores mess there. So they've got a lot going on, the Dolphins. But I mean, from the just player wise standpoint, they're going to be an interesting team. Definitely a huge year for Tua to watch out for. Tyler Mahar, one of the last comments of the day, saying got to sign a wide receiver ASAP. Pretty sure he's referring to Dallas. I hope so, Tyler. Maybe they make that trade that I was talking about by the deadline. There's somebody out there who's unhappy, wants a move. There's always some type of receiver that is probably going to be mentioned to be moved. So we'll see what we can do. Just kind of wait, because Jerry Jones said he's not going to do it. He ain't going to do it. So we'll see with that. I like what the Yankees did. At first, when I seen one of their trades, when they got the Trevino, I thought it said they got rid of Jose Trevino. I was so pissed because he's been unbelievable. He's been an all-star for them, but that's not the case. They picked up the closer Trevino. Love the Frankie Montas. Excited to see him pitch. Super, super pumped. But great MLB deadline show. Always going to remember the late, great Bill Russell, 1934 to 2000 to 2022. Absolute legend, sports icon, GOAT. And I'm not trying to use that word lightly either. I mean, like, actual GOAT. So definitely want to send our condolences there even to the NBA community as well. But another great show. Just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And how about them Yankees, I guess?
How about them Yankees? He's always going to put his Yankees touch on there. I'll give it to them. I like that Benintendi, hater move, but yeah, I just want to send our condolences to the Russell family again, and just RIP to the legend, Bill Russell, one of the greatest players in Celtics and American sports history in Boston. So RIP to Bill Russell. Can't really think of any other way, Josh, to go with that one. I think we're just going to end with that one. RIP Bill Russell.